Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, Chapter 86. When we last left our heroes, Gray and Hakane finished their fight, with both of them kind of doing their last bits of Maker Magic. Hakane summoned a giant, and Gray summoned a, battalion of knights, which is someone pointed out on Tumblr, I think, is kind of the first time Gray has done that sort of not living Maker Magic, but that style of Maker Magic that Leon uses. So that's some development for him, maybe enhanced by the magic power in Alantir. Either way, Gray wins the fight. And before anyone can celebrate, the world starts to end. As just the excess magic power Selene has gathered summons a fleet of arms across the planet. Wendy makes note of its similarity to the face bombs from the Tartaros arc. We don't quite see how that comparison is going to play out, but important to keep a note of. And right as the Grand White Priestess is sort of bemoaning all hope being lost, Natsu and Urza have finally been healed enough to join the fray, and they're going to go fight Selene. Meanwhile, Suzaku is still fighting Selene. Selene has a line about to be slayed by Kurnugi's sword, that would be a worthy distortion or something, which is weird. Another distortion, she says. So I don't know what's going on there. Hopefully this chapter will give me a little bit of clarity, but let's jump right on in. With an Eden Zero cover page. I can't read Japanese, but I see Rave, Fairy Tail, TV, and then what looks like August, maybe. I don't know what that's about. Something about the TV anime, but I don't know, besides Netflix releasing the first half of the season, what August has to do with Eden Zero. Anyway, our actual cover page is of Makarov kind of sitting on the palm of what I think is a Buddha statue, but I'm not quite familiar enough with Buddhism, so I could be very wrong there. If I am, please feel free to correct me in the comments. Anyway, Makarov keeps watch over the guild from up high. Mashima, you know that he lived, right? It was very much a thing that Makarov lived at the end of the Alvarez arc. But all right, whatever. Let's just sort of move on. Chapter 86, Abyss, and we open back with the hands that are still rising up all over the countryside, kind of grabbing at houses and shit, just smashing shit to the ground like something out of a fucking apocalypse movie. And people are running away. Eek! It's the end of the world! Run for it! Are we just abandoning the village? There's no point in whiting anything out now. Oh, this is not just a village, this is the Whiteout Village. The hands are here, and they are just destroying shit. And the priestess calls out, "Hold it!" And some of the, I guess they're monks, kind of stop. "Grand White Priestess!" And the priestess tells them, "Now is the time to fight, as citizens of the Whiteout Village. It is our duty to white out the magic power that overflows in this world and bring peace, is it not?" And one of the monks snaps back, "Even so, it's completely hopeless now. Hands around the world are..." And Ferris stops them. "Do not abandon hope just yet. Right now, the expansion of magic power is being caused by Selene. If Selene can be struck down, the magic power will surely subside." I'm not quite sure that's going to work. Here's the theory I have burning in my head right now, is that they will beat Selene, Natsu and Urza, and maybe Suzaku, and probably not Gray, Lucy, or Wendy. Gray and Lucy because they're kind of defeated, and Wendy I'll get to in a moment. They'll defeat Selene, and the apocalypse will continue. And then from then, we'll see kind of the result of Wendy's kind of postulating on the comparisons between face and the hands. And that would be Wendy's big contribution to the climax, is that the world will kind of still be in this state of disarray post-Selene, and Wendy will be the one to save the world, much like way back in the Tartaros arc, she was the one who destroyed that first face bomb. Admittedly, that one was not super helpful because it turned out that there were just a shit ton of more face bombs. But that's my working theory. We'll have a really, really good callback there. Either way, Ferris does not believe that yet. If Selene can be struck down, the magic power will surely subside. And then the priestess adds on, when that time comes, we will use our whiteout powers to erase the world's magic. Then this world will be saved. Is she saying... There's a particular word choice there, which might just be a translation thing. To erase the world's magic. Is she saying all of the magic, or like just like the excess magic? Because if so... Is this going to be another Atlas situation? Is there just going to be a thing that Fairy Tail will just go to another dimension and get rid of all magic in that dimension? Because, like, they've been to 2 dimensions at this point, and if this happens at the end of Ellen Tier, it's a little bad, Fairy Tail. Stop doing that. Anyway, then this world will be saved. We cut back to Fairy Tail. Gray and Lucy are still apparently able to at least move, as it's all 5 of them. Natsu, Gray, Lucy, Urza, and Wendy, running towards Selene. I still, though, think this will largely be a Natsu and Urza fight. And I want Wendy to be more involved with the hand, given her thinking last chapter. Anyway, they arrive at the mountain, and Toka's also with them. Everyone, I can use Aqua Era from here. We'll go to Black Moon Mountain at once. Natsu tells her, got it, let's go. And Toka makes the portal, they all dive in. And then this is the priestess, who's shouting to her followers, Suzaku-sama, and everyone from Fairy Tail. Those who are not of this world are fighting to protect it. And we see that the priestess is trembling. She's scared, but she fights on. How can we possibly run away? Elantir will be protected by us. And the whole village kind of sits in their shame, at just panicking instead of fighting back. And then Aqua Era deposits Fairy Tail outside the mountain. Toka, in her kind of defeat, I'm sorry, we could not reach the summit. Which does kind of call back to last time, how due to the expansion of magic and the contraction of space, I think, Aqua Era could not hop between dimensions anymore. It apparently is so bad it can't even reach the top of a single mountain. Which ain't great, I will say. But Gray comforts her. Not a problem. This is close enough. But Lucy sort of responds, yeah, but still. And Wendy looks around. There are hands here, too. And yeah, we see, 2 hands in particular in front of the group. Getting ready to smash them. And the Tsumeaka start to appear beneath their fingernails and drip down to the ground. Urza, who was unconscious during this lore dump, sort of shocked. What is that? And Toka fills them in. It's Tsumeaka. In your world, you would call them monsters. Tsumeaka? Such a filthy name. And yeah, in case you forgot the translation note from some months ago at this point, Tsumeaka is a Japanese phrase for dirt that gets stuck in the fingernails. And Lucy calls out, if monsters keep getting made like this from hands appearing around the world, Natsu kind of fills in, we gotta stomp him, quick. And Natsu Happy gets around to Natsu and they fly away. Let's cut straight to the top, Happy. Aye, sir. And someone, I'm guessing Lucy, calls out, hey, wait! And Gray gets kind of pissed. That jerk went on all by himself again. Lucy tells him, let's head up the mountain too. And Urza readies her blade. Agreed. But first things first. Let us exterminate these devils. And Wendy says, that hand. There's something I need to check first. And Carla looks at her, Wendy? Carla, can you bring me closer? So we're getting some follow-up on that hand and face comparison a little bit earlier than I thought we would. I thought Mashima would just sort of set that up and let it sit until we got to the end of the arc. But it looks like it's going to be a little bit closer, but not quite as close as I thought it would be, because we then cut to Suzaku and Selene, who are still fighting in the woods. And Selene taunts him, I know your power all too well. You have such incredible strength for a human. However, no matter how strong you are, I find it hard to believe you defeated Kurnugi. And Suzaku responds, verily, the one who has felled him was my master, a true dragon eater, George-sama. Okay. So Suzaku seems to kind of be taking credit for Kurnugi's death, but now he's sort of accepting, yeah, I didn't actually kill him. Unless if I go back to those earlier chapters, maybe Suzaku never technically said he killed Kurnugi, he just sort of let that implication hang? Maybe? Either way, we get another sense of the threat that George, possesses when we eventually have to deal with him at some point. So just a bit of foreshadowing there. And then Selene kind of grins. I see. And then you were the one who consumed his flesh? Indeed. Good grief. Granted, there were various reasons. For that Kurnugi to be defeated by a human. That Kurnugi was defeated by a human. Okay, that's a weird thing, because she basically says the same thing twice. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just she's just kind of stunned. She's so stunned that she has to kind of repeat the concept that Kurnugi can be defeated by a human. And Suzaku presses a question. What was thy relation to Kurnugi? And Selene tells him, you have no reason to know, but fine. I shall indulge you. And Suzaku, gets ready for her answer. That dragon you ate was one of my sons. Oh. Okay. Alright. I was expecting, a lover or something. But yeah, with that reveal, she's kind of gone, that look in her eyes is feral. Her face is, shadowed. Her pupils have, shrunken to pinpricks. She is livid. I'm kind of curious why she wasn't livid already, but I guess she was kind of containing it a little bit. And now she's just kind of going all out. And Suzaku kind of realizes the threat she now poses. As she unleashes some kind of... No, I think might be Suzaku trying to do some kind of blade attack towards Selene with a Gwah! Or maybe that was Selene's attack, and Suzaku was kind of being blown back by it. I can't quite tell. I don't... Selene is too small in that picture, and we can't really see enough of Suzaku to tell where the motion is going from. But we see Selene on the next page, kind of arm outstretched. So I'm guessing she either deflected Suzaku's attack or kind of sent out the attack in the first place. Either way, she's still mad. We even see the way her font has changed. It's, very... Where it was very just kind of texty, very kind of like on a Word document. Now it looks kind of scrawled, in the same way it did when she dropped, was one of my sons. Whatever shall I do with you? I've always wondered. To start, how about I pull your intestines out? Gah. And, so it does seem to be Selene who sent out the attack, because Suzaku kind of hits the ground and pulls himself up. I offer no apology. Dragons are the enemy of humans. We of Diablo shall consume every last one of thee. So here's the thing, because that seems to be the first time that Diabolos has kind of presented their mission through a moral lens. Dragons are the enemy of humans, so we have to stop them. And that kind of, it fits in the way that Suzaku has kind of always been presented as a better person than, say, Kiria, or Skullion, or Madmoral, or George, or Nabal. Really any of Diabolos except Wraith. But there's still that bit of enemy of humans. And I'm kind of curious how the series is going to kind of go on with that, given the dragon-raised humans who are on Team Natsu. Both Natsu and Wendy. I don't know. I'm kind of keeping a pin on that concept. I kind of want to see where that goes. Anyway, Kurnugi style, sword drawing art. And Selene readies her next attack. For an inferior being like you to try to use Kurnugi's powers. And then Suzaku just drops our title, Abyss. And Selene freezes. And I can't quite tell what Suzaku does there. But Suzaku counters Selene's earlier line. This isn't Kurnugi's style. 'Tis a style I hast devised. Underworld. Black Purgatory Slash. And that seems to do a good bit of damage to Selene. whereas all of his previous efforts done nothing but cause a slight cut to her cheek, here he slices her gut open. Ah! Ah! Interestingly, she had previously said that she was going to pull his gut open and pull his intestines out. So it's a bit of karmic retribution there. And Selene kind of coughs up blood, seemingly defeated, almost certainly not defeated, given the structure of a fairy tale arc. And Suzaku just sort of breathes heavy, seemingly like exhausted, but seemingly victorious. And Selene falls. Suzaku is clearly out of breath. He's on his last legs. I don't think he's going to be able to do much more if Selene gets back up. And Selene kind of weakly mutters out, "Not possible. A mere human did this to me. A mere human. Gah." And she casts Aqua Era. And Suzaku calls out to her, "Halt." And then we cut back to Wendy, or maybe it's Natsu. I think it's Natsu. Flying towards Selene, two hands grabbing towards him, and a Tsumeaka forms in front of him. "Natsu, it's that Tsumeaka thing!" And then a bunch more emerge, and Happy kind of panics. "Whoa, there's tons of them!" And Natsu kind of readies his flame breath. "Out of the way!" And just burns them all on the way to Selene. And Suzaku, and not Suzaku, fuck. In case y'all can't tell, it is currently, 12:16 a.m. at the moment, and I'm good enough that I can, like, comment on the chapter in a sensible way, I hope. But I'm a little out of it right now. Also, my nose is kind of blocked all of a sudden, which it was not earlier in the day, so that's part of my speaking problems. Anyway, Natsu has just burned them all to a crisp. And he says, "You wait right there, Selene. I'm gonna beat you." And he heads towards the battlefield. And we end the chapter with Natsu on his way, Suzaku seemingly victorious, but unable to really put up more of a fight at this point. And Selene seemingly defeated, but probably not for good. To be continued. Okay, so I think that's basically the end of Suzaku versus Selene. Even if almost certainly Selene will have some kind of counter. Maybe I'd go as far as like an Izanagi kind of thing in Naruto to rewrite time. Was Izanagi a moon god? Hold on. Because that kind of came to me. And I'm not sure if Izanagi was a moon god. Who was the moon? No, the moon deity is Tsukuyomi. Okay, never mind. Right, because that makes with Naruto and the infinite Tsukuyomi. Yeah. Okay, so I was wrong. Ignore that. I know very, very little about Japanese mythology. But anyway, because if it was, maybe, the same kind of concept of Izanagi. Maybe, I don't know, the mythological origins of Naruto's Izanagi jutsu. Either way, that's not important because Izanagi is not related to the moon at all. So let's stop worrying about that. Anyway, there's a lot of fun to be had in this chapter. I honestly really love the Grand White Priestess' speech. The whole bit about, we have to fight, this is our home. But also, Mashima makes a point of showing us, the priestess, shaking. She is terrified, but this is her home, damn it. And she's going to defend it. She's the leader of her people. She is the last hope to stop the excess magic power. She has to stand and fight. Which is more emotion than we've had for the Grand White Priestess yet. So far, she's just been kind of horny. But it's a really, really good scene for her. And then we have, some more Tsumeakas, which we don't really get to see much of a fight there. But we get Wendy's incredibly interesting investigation of the hands that I really want to see where that goes. Mainly because Tartaros is my all-time favorite fairy tale arc. And anything that brings the current storyline closer to Tartaros, I'm always here for. But then, we have kind of the climax of Suzaku versus Selene, which is also just really cool. We learn that Kurnugi, the dragon where Suzaku gets his powers from, was Selene's son, which again, not the route I was expecting, but also kind of leads Selene into this like manic state where she just needs to destroy Suzaku. I kind of want to go back and read the earlier chapters of this fight with that in mind. But anyway, maybe later. We then get Suzaku's super cool final attack that I really want to see animated if 100 Years Quest ever gets itself an anime. Of Abyss, Underworld, Black Purgatory slash. A move that's his own style. I just love this panel. If it were oriented a little bit differently, I would definitely use it for my thumbnail, but I don't think it's gonna fit. It's just like the void around Selene. It's a really cool effect. I really like it. And Selene seems to be defeated. She's almost, 100% not gonna be down. Whether she's kind of, reborn as sort of a feral dragon and all of the sentience is kind of gone from her as a result of this attack. Maybe I think that'd be the most boring option, but it's definitely a possibility. But yeah, Natsu's on his way, so there's no way the fight is over yet. That's where we leave off, with Selene seemingly down, absolutely destroyed. Like, she looks beaten and bloodied. In that final couple of pages. She's also casting an Aqua Era to go somewhere. So maybe she's gonna like drain magic power from some world to heal, maybe. All possible with Selene. But yeah, Natsu's on his way. Suzaku is down for the count, not down for the count, but if Selene gets a power up, he's not gonna be able to do much. He's pretty much out. And yeah. All in all, the Selene arc is kind of rocketing towards its climax, and I really can't wait to see how this all shakes up. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!